Julie, Jeff in Las Vegas, good morning.
Hi, Jeff. How are you? Good morning to you. Holy
Oh,
moly. It's
I'm
early.
just so glad we could work this out. I know film festival craziness and schedules, so I'm glad I loved
Yeah.
your movie, very inspiring and I just love it. I just loved it. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching and having me.
Well, your film opens with an honest discussion with your parents. So this is just from frame one. This is such a personal film for you, isn't
Yep. It sure
it?
is. Personal journey. But it also is more than personal because it is about the community that my personal journey leads me to and connects the Little People community.
And just growing up, just in the first few minutes, the punishment and ridicule you got, you said that people would stop you. I mean, my heart goes out to you, and I can only assume that people can see this, that people who watch this or have dwarfism or little people, they're not alone, are they?
Right, right. No, I mean, that's the very much the point of the film is about feeling alone and finding out that you're not alone. So yeah, I mean, and for people like me who are in between, not as clearly read as a little person or with dwarfism, but kind of dwarf-ish, I used to say, um, there's even more of a sense of, wait, do I fit even in the marginal group? Because I feel like I don't fit in the mainstream.
And there were so many things I learned about the little people world. I mean, what does it mean to be proportional? You guys took out tape measures and I mean, does it get that detailed?
I mean, I think in some ways we're trying to make, laugh at the idea of an ideal body or a so-called proportional body, like that there is one set of ideal proportions or the one height that we should all strive to be happy if we reach.
And there's many types of dwarfism. I saw it comes in many shapes, many forms. There isn't just one type, is there?
That's right. And even like the image behind you is showing probably about five different kinds of dwarfism, silhouettes of bodies. Some dwarfism has very long limbs and shorter trunk, and um, a lot like the kind I have are shorter limbs and a longer trunk.
And
But
many,
yeah, different
yeah.
kinds of different ways of having difference in height and growth. Yeah.
And while watching this, how did you gain the trust of your subjects in the documentary? Because even though you have the same condition, some people might have been standoffish, because they're vulnerable. But so, how did you gain the trust of some of your subjects?
Yeah, I think I listened to that I listened to the pushback and the sense of when there were responses when I got no's to film, um, it felt like a defeat and like I didn't know how the film could go on. I want to film you in this very difficult situation. And then I start that had to do with, your personal choices about your children, and their drugs and their medical care. I um, I started listening to that and realizing that the way to tell this story was with the people I was filming with, not of them. And so one of the big central through lines is the collaborative process that a group of performing artists, little people artists, and I do. And I think we built trust by creating a space that was made for and by us. And, and the other, yeah, so I think that's the answer that, I think the other thing is that, I, over many years, established relationships and connections. And I was coming to community and into this project with my own question about my own dwarfism. So I think all those things made this film pretty different than most film or TV projects that look at little people.
And it's such a close-knit community. I mean, you showed starting back in
Yep.
1957, there's conferences, there's support groups, it's literally its own world, isn't it?
That's right. And the annual national conferences that kind of take over a hotel one week each summer are like going into a universe that's created again like for and by little people where the architecture is adapted. There are steps up to the registration desk and there are stools and in every hotel room and uh,
Right.
so yes, it's a it's an alternate world, and most importantly, it's like a social world where we congregate and get to be all together.
And,
Uh,
and
it's-
and what I love about your film is that, there's been so many decades of literally training people on what to say and what to do, proper terms, little person, little people is the proper nomenclature. And also Little People, Big World, the TV series. I'm a big fan of
right.
that. Seinfeld, I remember the character of Mickey, one of my all-time favorites.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, it's little people, right? And he's like, Kramer's like, hey, wait, so there's so much that's been around, but it's a constant struggle to educate people too, because people. I was telling people about this, and they automatically brought up South Park, that episode, of a little person and all that. So can
Oh,
can the
I don't even know
community?
that one.
Oh, you don't? Oh my gosh!
No,
Wow.
but apparently I should.
Well, it's they have a school assembly, and a little person comes out to talk about being a little person, and Cartman does the entire episode, just laughs at him constantly, and
Oh yeah.
like, no, what? Don't worry about it. Words are like bullets. They pass right through me. It's like.
Oh my God.
But I just thought that, there's a whole community out there, and there's support for that. So in this, are you prepared for people, people with dwarfism or any kind of condition to say, reaching out to you and saying, thank you, and you know,
Oh, I really, that's the, I think kind of ultimate goal is for this to be meaningful to little people, to their families, their average height parents, to give a sense, of how meaningful it is to connect to community and find your people, And so I hope that for little people and other disabled people beyond dwarfism, I hope this speaks to them because it's sort of, I think, a story that, either within the disability community, but maybe even without it, people can understand that sense of being, of not fitting and searching for your people and wanting to belong. So,
and what great way to launch all of this by South by Southwest. How was that experience?
oh, it was fantastic. I mean, we had
Oh,
3 screenings, really well attended, audiences really connected to the film, and many just, you know, um, very moved. So, some uh, new, several of the participants in the film came to the premiere, and for them,
oh,
I think it was incredibly meaningful to be there, have this on the big screen with a full audience. And for those people who didn't know about Little People community, dwarfism, it I think was sort of pretty eye-opening and relatable, and you know, I, I think the journey aspect of it seemed to speak to them. That's what a lot of
mm.
people came up to me and said.
Now, are you still more stories inside you, Julie? Are you going to continue as a
Yeah.
filmmaker? Is there different,
Yeah, I have more stories inside.
that's what I want to hear. Good for you. Excellent.
I'm working on actually finishing another film about a woman who's a timpanist, the big drums in the back of the orchestra. She was the
Yeah.
first Black player with the New York Phil and with any major US orchestra back in the 1970s. And I've been working on telling her story. Very different world,
A
but sort
timpani
of,
drummer?
yeah, a Black woman
I
who's a
love it.
timpanist and who also is very kind of political and fought for a place for herself to do the
Right.
things she loved to do. So
Well, make sure you ask her about playing, Peter and the Wolf, because they use the drums, those timpani drums for the shotguns. I always, when I was a
oh
kid,
yeah.
they use
Oh,
different
cool.
instruments to represent the
Yes.
animals. So those were the shotguns in the story. So see if she's ever done that. That'd be so
Yeah,
great.
that's great. I'll go listen to that piece because I do love ones that really feature it in as part of the storytelling and yeah.
Yeah, in 2001. Oh, that should be an exciting story. So, Julie, congratulations. It's such a thrill to talk to you. I'm so happy for you, and congratulations on all your accomplishments. And let's talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.